This is Charlie. You join me for chores at Capella Ranch. Normally I'm out with the animals, but today I'm just going to be in washing some eggs. Carolyn needed some help on this one. We have been having a run on eggs, so we're trying to get as many out as quickly as we can. So I just went out and grabbed a couple dozen, and I thought this is a great time to actually record how we clean them up and get them ready to put out at the egg hut out at the end of the street. So here's how we go. First things first, you got to come up with a bucket of eggs, which I've already done. And what we do first is put them in just a little lukewarm water there. The process is we get this bucket of eggs, fill it up with water, and then let the eggs soak in there for a few minutes. That loosens up all the debris on the eggs. Then what we do is take a little sponge, and for anything that's still sort of stuck on, we may have to scrub it off just a little bit. Doesn't take much. And then step 2, really, or 3, wherever we would be, is this bucket. And this one I'm filling up with water so that it will cover the eggs. And then what we do is we add a little bit of Clorox bleach in this just to kill all the germs. So that should be enough to cover the eggs. That's their dip. And then we got Clorox down here somewhere. Help. Just not to overdo it, but just a touch. Charlie the chemist, there we are. And then we shall swirl that around. Okay. That just makes sure, well, make sure you have to refrigerate the eggs, that's for sure. Interestingly enough, eggs can quite happily live out on the shelf for weeks at a time. Without needing to be refrigerated. That's largely an American kind of a thing, that we refrigerate our eggs. If they are still maintaining their original state after coming right out of the chicken, then they can stay fresh. Although I'd have to imagine it is pretty much a global problem that some of the eggs come out looking like that. Sometimes you just can't avoid the mess. But soaking the eggs for a moment or two. You don't want to soak them too long because after all the eggshells are permeable. So you don't want to let things go for too long at all. We're just trying to surface clean. So I believe I collected enough for 2 dozen here. I think I've got 2 dozen in the bucket. So a lot of these that just come out, now that's why I do 2 buckets. I just did 1 today because I was only picking up, a couple of quick dozen, just so we could have some more out at the street. But normally I put them into 2 buckets. I put them into what I call the clean bucket and the dirty bucket. The dirty bucket is the one this is kind of the dirty bucket procedure, because you got to wash off the stuff and everything else. The clean bucket, what I'm saying is clean, when we bring them back in, we just dip them. We just do the Clorox dip. There's no real scrubbing required on any of the eggs. And not that there's any real scrubbing required here. It's just lightly brushing off the egg to get it clean. And I think I'm almost through my 2 dozen here. I got maybe 4 left. Ooh, speckly one, my favorites. I love the ones with speckles. They have the most personality. There's a nice dark speckly one here. I'll show that close up. And then Carolyn found this really great egg drying rack. That's 2 really good speckly ones. That's all of them. So here you go. That is a brown speckly. It's got a little friend there. That's another brown speckly. Love those. Okay. Then all we do is take these out and gently set them on the drying rack. And we just let them dry. Takes a few minutes, not very long. This is, after all, Colorado. We have very little humidity here. So everything does tend to dry quickly. Okay, that was 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh, did I count wrong? 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. There we go. We're good. 2 dozen. All right. So let me go ahead and take a quick pause here, and then I'll come back and we'll make sure they're dry and put them into cartons. We'll give it maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes to dry. We'll see how it looks after 10 minutes. Okay, a few minutes elapsed. I was getting ready to go ahead and actually do the second part of the video. And look at this. I picked up one of the eggs to look at it really close. See that little tiny crack in there? That happens sometimes. So anyway, I dashed back out to the chickens, got another one, and it occurred to me I forgot to mention, when I put this egg into the water, it sinks all the way to the bottom. That means it's fresh and it's good. Eggs that are good sink, and they also don't have any air bubbles coming up. And that's how you find out if they're cracked. So that one there might have just had a thin shell. But this one's fine. No air bubbles, sinks just great. So we'll go ahead and replace this broken blue one with that. We'll save this one maybe off for the dogs for dinner tonight. All right, now let's let that one dry for a little bit. Okay, now let's bring it in a little more close. Need to go get our egg carton when we have our Capella Ranch egg cartons. Nice, nice touch. And the rubric is the big ones go in the middle, trying to balance colors. So we look for the biggest ones, and the fat ends always go down. And the pointy ends go up. And if there's a drop of water or so on there, I'm not too terribly worried. White, and there's a white one there. That one's got a nice darker one. Put a little speckled one in here. There we go, kind of color balancing. Trying to artistically arrange our brown eggs. Oop. That has fun little spots all over it. It's a little bigger, we'll put it there. You're little, and you're reasonably large. And there we go. 2 dozen eggs, cleaned, washed, ready to go to the egg hut out at the end of the street, and ready to be picked up today. Boy, just keeping up with demand. Carolyn usually does an amazing job, and I bring in all those eggs you see me collecting, and she washes them and has them ready to go. We're just running behind demand a little bit right now. Supply's not quite keeping up. Got to talk to those chickens, get them going. So anyway, thanks for joining me for this inside chore. A little bit of a different look here at Capella Ranch.